Hello, everyone. Bob here. Today we are going to have my quick review of Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens. Now, if you take yourself back to 2015, in early 2015, all we had was the extremely early teaser that had come out actually in 2014. And I knew that the new movie was coming, and I knew it was less than a year. I mean, I was looking forward to it, but I wasn't psyched for it yet. Then we got the Chewie We're Home trailer in the early spring, and I was okay. I was looking forward to it. It all right. This is looking good. And then in October, when they released the full trailer on Monday Night Football, uh, I was really excited, and they did a wonderful job of not telling you anything, but giving you just enough to get your to play on your nostalgic emotions to get you amped up for it. You had the original cast coming back for the first time since '83. This was the first Star Wars movie of any kind since Revenge of the Sith, Clone Wars notwithstanding. And so I was excited. I was really looking forward to this one. And I went to see the movie on opening Friday. But I'll give you my thoughts on the movie here in a sec. First, I want to talk about the disc. Video-wise, it looks outstanding. This is easily the best of the bunch so far. The colors are intense with the HDR, and that's works well to the film's advantage. The clarity and detail is outstanding. Whether it's the beads of sweat on Finn's head, whether it's the sands on Jakku, or the snow falling on Starkiller Base, everything looks and sounds as good as you could possibly hope for from this release. Fortunately, this film is not old enough to have to go through any restoration process, so there is no digital noise reduction or edge enhancement. And this movie looks as good as you could possibly hope for, and I am thrilled about that. Sound-wise, it's another home run. This set has hit a home run after home run on all of their soundtracks. The Dolby Atmos is full and vibrant. There's a couple spots that I felt like there could have been a little more in there, but it really wasn't that big of a deal. And this, I thought the standard Blu-ray looked good that I already had from Disney, and I popped it in for comparison, and yeah, it's the light years above that I thought it was. But back to the 4K, the bass is encompassing. It's wall rattling. Especially the interrogation scene between Kylo Ren and Finn. It sounds great. Plenty of detail overhead. The Atmos channels are very active in this movie. It's just a killer soundtrack, and I loved it. For the film itself, I had a blast watching this at the cinema, and I saw it multiple times. I'm one of those guys that saw it several times in the cinema. And I have to admit, watching that movie was the most fun that I'd had in a theater this decade. I know I'm going to catch some flack from that, saying, well, what about Endgame? Well, when the first Iron Man came out, I was already 20 years old. I grew up with Star Wars, and specifically the original cast, and getting them on screen again, even though one of them was mostly absent for all but the last few seconds of the movie, it was just a blast. It felt like Star Wars. It felt like I was watching the natural extension of the original trilogy. I know there's a lot of people that they trash this movie because of all the nostalgia feelers and everything else that goes along in there. I have to say that being that this was the first movie from Disney, the movie did what it needed to. The idea was to touch on the nostalgia of everybody that had grown up and loved Star Wars, to reintroduce everybody to it. And I love the movie. I mean, it is easily the best non-original trilogy Star Wars film. So that's all I'm really going to get into on that. I'm going to get into... I'll do a sequel trilogy final thoughts video after this, so I will get into more thoughts and more specific details on my opinion on how stuff went then. And of course, the way The Force Awakens is, it sets everything up for the other two. And whatever your complaints are about characters that may or may not have been overutilized or underutilized or whatever, a lot of that comes after this movie. And that is in no way, shape, or form the fault of this movie. So I'll leave that for later. I cannot recommend this disc enough. Whether you're a Star Wars fan or a 4K collector, this disc is worth having in your collection. It looks and sounds amazing, whether you buy it as part of the box set or individually. Video, 10 out of 10. Audio, 10 out of 10. And the film itself, 9.5 out of 10. I toyed with the idea of giving it a 10 out of 10, but I decided against it because I don't enjoy it quite as much as I do the original trilogy, but it is a lot of fun. This was the first time I'd watched it in a little while, and I forgot how much fun that movie actually is. Force Awakens is just a blast to watch. So, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this quick review, and if you did, give me a like, and please consider subscribing to this channel so that you keep up to date on when my new content comes out. I try to have some kind of content released every day. That's the plan for now, unless something changes. If it does, I'll have an announcement on my channel. Of course, you can always follow me on Facebook and Twitter at Bob the Film Guy. So thank you so much for watching. This is Bob signing off. Till next time.